And we're back once again. You're listening to the GFR Report, Global Financial Review, longest-running financial broadcast in the country. We're talking about alternative investments, and today we have Tim O'Fallon, actually a buddy of mine. I got to know you, a few years back, and I don't even know how. We might have been talking gold and silver, but
I think that's how we started. Yeah,
yeah, I think so. I think that started me on the path of something now I'm in love with, and that's Charlotte and Dahlonega. I call them Civil War type mints. I don't know how else I'd explain it. Some of them actually disappeared after the Civil War as a result of the Civil War. But before we talk about that, the market for gold and silver is gigantic. It's worldwide. It's just like the stock market is large, the bond market's larger. So we work down smaller to this market, rare gold coins. What are the advantages and disadvantages of this market being relatively small?
Well, it is a smaller market, and that's actually one of the greatest advantages because, as you know, the size of the market is a lot less important than the potential for the growth of the market relative to the number of existing rarities.
Right.
So, and this is where rare coins are strategic masterpieces. We've got hundreds of thousands of people buying gold and silver coins for their bullion value, and they're doing it for their precious metals
portfolio. The Krugerrands, the
Gold
Maple
American
Leaves,
Eagles, Canadian Maple Leaves, but they're buying physical gold in coin form just close to the gold value.
Right.
Now, if even a tiny fraction of these people move over to rarer coins, which are related, and I see this happening sometime in the next 5 to 10 years, there just are not enough coins to go around of the rare type. And this potentially leads to really significant increases in value.
I've asked you about that because I obviously have studied markets all my life, and just take the Charlotte and Dahlonega minted coins. If an investor had $40 or $50 million, they could end up, theoretically, of course, buying every coin that was in circulation or is in circulation.
The market, you mentioned Charlotte Gold and Dahlonega Gold, which Charlotte, North Carolina and Dahlonega, Georgia both had mints producing only gold coins from 1838 to 1861. And when the Confederacy took over the mints, they stopped production. Virtually everything's been destroyed or melted. There are a few remaining pieces. There are so few that just by mentioning them by name on this broadcast, you could potentially affect the market.
Right.
This is how rare these pieces are. Not terribly expensive by any means, but they're extraordinarily rare. And what I see is a trend. The trend is people are moving to tangible assets as a hedge against inflation because they're concerned about other types of instruments. And more people are buying them in round yellow form. Gold. It will not take very many of those people, especially committed people, who become even remotely passionate about these rare coins, to totally affect the market.
One of the things that I look at when it comes to investments, let's say I'm looking at a piece of investment real estate. I've got the taxes, I've got the maintenance, and I've got the upkeep. And now, of course, in Pinellas and Hillsborough County, if you're anywhere near a flood zone, the premiums for flood insurance are quadrupling in some areas. But I've got all these costs associated with this non-liquid or illiquid piece of real estate. And quite frankly, I'm only in my mid-50s, but I'm getting to the point where I want something a little bit easier. I want something that is a hedge against inflation, has that upside potential, that blue sky, if a certain type of coin gets really hot, and they do from time to time. History will prove that out. But I don't have to worry about getting a renter to rent my rare coin. I don't have to worry about paying taxes on it, maintenance, upkeep, or anything else. That's one of the attractions to me as an alternative investment using precious gold coins, especially those that are graded from the two main grading services.
Right, and unlike other collectibles, they're not even subject to sales tax in many states, including the state of Florida.
Okay.
When you purchase them. I mean, they are viewed as investments in that sense. If they're United States coins, they're not subject to sales tax.
Okay.
Now, certain ancient coins would be. And they also can be very suitable to a portfolio. But United States coins, certainly in the state of Florida, are non-taxable when you buy them. So you're absolutely right. one other aspect, though, that one doesn't have to fall in love with these pieces. One doesn't have to know a lot about them in order to benefit from them. I have some clients who are simply interested. They understand that they are buying something to potentially go up a lot with what's happening, the trends that are happening in the investment market. But they're not really interested in knowing all the details about each of the coins. And they do very, very well. I have other clients, and sometimes they don't always start out this way, who suddenly become very, very interested in the history of the coins, want to know all about that. And I'm here to provide that information if they so desire.
You know, I started by just being interested in buying the gold bullion coins, Krugerrands, Maple Leafs, and all that. And then started to look at the precious graded, what we call slabbed gold coins.
Certified coins.
And really what it came down to is I had developed a relationship and trust with you and Vic at Gibraltar. And so I got that comfort zone. When I started, I got to tell you, I really didn't care any about the history of the coin or whatever. And then, you know, you educated me along the way. And then all of a sudden it's like, wow, this is really neat stuff. This is a piece of Americana. Just a week ago, I was up in Dahlonega, Georgia, where one of the mints was, and there's history here. And what happens is I have accidentally found an alternative investment that I actually get some enjoyment out of.
Right.
Most of my other investments, and those for our clients, it's an investment. And we're always told never fall in love with an investment. But you know what? It's certainly nice to enjoy it along the way. It's almost as if I bought a rental property, I don't have to worry about renting it out. And anytime I want to go there, let's say the rental property is on an island, you know, I can go there and enjoy it. I enjoy these coins.
Well, what you just said is very powerful, because even if you're listening and what just happened to Burke doesn't happen to you, this is a phenomena that I see occur with people a lot. And that is, they start with bullion, and then they diversify into some of the rare coins. They're not that interested at first, but some of them become extremely passionate.
Yeah.
And that is a motivational factor that can be taken advantage of, where coins that you know are going to have that impact on some people are taken off the market and put in your own portfolio before these hundreds of thousands of people start getting interested, or some of them do.
Well, even there aren't that many coin dealers that deal in this grade and quality around the United States.
Yeah, there aren't enough of them to go around, is why.
Well, and I was going to say is that I know you have a passion for these coins as well. I don't know too many gold and coin dealers that have enough money to inventory and to keep what they really like. You can't fall in love with every coin because
we'd be keeping them all.
but it would be financially impossible. So there are coins that have to go into circulation that are just exquisite coins. I do notice too, you brought a couple of coins into the studio with you this morning.
Yes, to show everybody on the radio.
Okay.
That's why.
It's a great idea.
I brought a couple of examples because I know talking about it in theory is one thing, but when we discuss specific examples, it really helps.
Okay.
If you make a phone call to one of these people that advertise selling gold coins on television or the radio, typically when they talk to you about the older, quote-unquote, rare coins, what you'll end up buying from them are $20 gold pieces that are certified in nice condition, mint state. An example of one that is commonly sold is the 1904 Philadelphia Mint $20 gold piece.
Okay.
Well, and they'll charge you around $2,000 for it, and it's great. It's a nice coin.
But how rare is that?
Well, this is the problem.
Okay.
In 1904 in Philadelphia, they made 6.5 million $20 gold pieces. Most of them have been melted. There may only be 1 million or 1.5 million left. But let's compare that to the Carson City Mint in Nevada.
All right.
The Carson City, Nevada Mint from 1870 to 1893. During the whole course of the life of that mint, they only made 800,000 $20 gold pieces. The vast majority of those, especially being where they were out west, were melted down.
All right.
So, for example, in 1890...
Can I hold that?
You can hold it.
Okay.
This coin, they made 91,209 pieces of this $20 gold piece.
Okay.
How many survived? There are 3,000 known. in extremely fine condition, and the coin I'm holding is a PCGS certified extremely fine 45 condition coin. There's 800 to 900 pieces known
800 to 900 pieces known.
in the world.
This is getting narrower and narrower here.
Narrower
the numbers.
and narrower.
Okay.
So compared to 1 million known, there's less than 1,000 known of this. So
All right.
this coin is 1,000 times rarer than the 1904, at least 500 times rarer. But it is not 500 times the price. I mean, this coin, we're offering for $3,500, which is less than double what the 1904 is. Well, that doesn't make any sense.
No.
This is a coin that I foresee in the next 5 to 10 years doing even better. It's also a coin in the last 2 or 3 years that has been going up, as I kind of predicted.
Yeah.
This is a coin that's going up sooner than I expected.
And it comes down to rarity.
Price to rarity ratio.
To
Yep.
buy, price to rarity ratio. Okay, because, even, I don't know what other collectible example to give because it's not going to be right. But let's take fine artwork. Let's parallel that. If you have really good artwork, maybe that piece of artwork will go up 5 or 6% per year. But if you have the Picasso, and if you have, the Renoir, the Rembrandt, that are known pieces, those babies seem to go up more than anything else.
Yes. Well, what we are seeing is an interest in the art world, okay, in relation to gold and silver. Gold and silver are like the art world. Will gold and silver go up? I think over the long term it certainly will. If you were just investing in the art world, will the price of canvas and ink go up? Yeah, I think it will. Now, now, if you look at a Picasso in terms of its canvas and ink, and say, well, wait a minute, that Picasso only has $14.83 worth of canvas and ink in it. You're going to start to, you're not going to think it's a good deal at $40 million.
Yeah.
But if you appreciate it for what it is, a one-of-a-kind piece of art, then you can see that it has future potential.
Yeah.
Well, these rare coins are like the rare artworks, but they're in many cases really not that much more expensive. They're really not that much more expensive than the gold and silver in them.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's truly amazing. We're going to take a break right here, and I want to ask you some more examples,
Sure.
but we're a little overdue for this quick break here. Folks, you're listening to GFR Report. Today we have resident expert Tim O'Fallon from Gibraltar Coins, someone I've known for a long time and trust. We're talking about alternative investments. Why? Because your bank doesn't pay you anything, and there is something other than the stock market, bond market, and commodities market. That said, we'll be back right after this.